It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
I want to try that French press stuff. Does that make it taste any different? Or is it's just a fancy way to it's an inconvenient way to make coffee?
Steve, just you and me here, right?
Yeah, listen, hold on. Hey, everyone else, out.
Take off for a second.
Toby,
staff,
lay over there.
Katie, you dabbled in the French press thing, and it couldn't have been a bigger waste of time.
And Steve.
Appearance-wise, still looks like hell. Looks terrible.
I don't care about appearance at all.
Okay, good. And honestly, this podcast doesn't deserve something too nice. I mean, look, if we pulled up and we're in like a brand new Lincoln Navigator.
Sure, that would look out of sorts.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Smell of a fresh brew here in the studio.
That's right.
Smells nice. What do you got there? You get the chocolate peanut butter one?
Nope. Today was a just straight caramel out of the Keurig brewer. Did not have time to make a full pot this morning, so my apologies that the witch's brew or the Frankenfudge brownie is the other Halloween bag of coffee beans I have.
Chocolate peanut butter one is you're
still,
efforting this.
I have to tell you, I bought the bag. We drank the bag. Well, we made the coffee from the beans in the bag. Mm-hmm. Drank it all. Haven't had it since. It seems like you and I have had a constant miscommunication about the status of that coffee since then, where I thought I had been very clear that it's gone and I don't have any more.
So you're going to pick some up this weekend? Is that what it was? How far away is it?
I mean, listen, I was there yesterday. But
so you probably walked right past it.
Wasn't in the budget. You know, $8.99 for a little bag. You'd probably get a few pots out of.
That's a lot.
And listen, a delightful coffee, just delicious. Boy. If you're, I'll have fond memories of it for years to come. Mm-hmm. And I can only hope that one day you can.
Where's this place at?
Enjoy. It is not too far from you, where they sell apple, or it's like a little apple orchard, and they have a little pumpkin patch thing as well, and make their own donuts in the morning. Oh yeah, Steve. Yeah, you and I, you could be there in...
Oh, the donut place? Is that what we're talking about?
You could be there in about 12 minutes.
Oh, boy, you know, you had really made it seem like it was a great distance.
Nope. Nope. Just simply said, I am not buying another bag. I have a house full of coffee. I have a wife who signed up for a subscription service against my advice to say, hey, we don't consistently make pots of coffee every day to justify a coffee subscription.
Okay.
So therefore, I think it's not prudent to get 2 bags of coffee every month when we hit spooky coffee season and I drink spooky coffee.
Right.
And then right after spooky coffee season is solstice coffee season.
Solstice coffee, yeah.
The
natural follow-up to spooky coffee season.
Yes. And so I drink solstice coffee. November 1st, I'll have a pot of, gingerbread mixed with cinnamon, mixed with, wreath.
That's my favorite.
There's something about anybody can have a gingerbread.
Love me some wreath coffee.
Anybody can have the gingerbread scent in the taste, but it's when you really mix in that pine.
Yeah.
The needles.
You know what coffee I appreciate? Solstice coffee that just is not celebrated enough.
Yeah.
Is the long white beard coffee.
It's... I now have a question for you, because I know I'm thinking like gingerbread, I'm thinking sugar cookie, right? What is that food? That seasonal food that should be year-round? I mean, you can still get that. Obviously, I'm not saying that people only have gingerbread or sugar cookies during the solstice season, but you'd argue jelly beans. I enjoy a jelly bean, Steve.
I would eat the meal that is traditionally the Thanksgiving meal, I would eat that every single day.
Really?
Turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, a little bit of stuffing.
You don't think you'd burn out on the turkey itself?
No, I love it. Love it. I would also, let's see, I just had one other on the top of my head that I was thinking about. Pumpkin pie. I'd eat pumpkin pie every night for dessert after dinner.
Wow. Okay.
I love it.
I don't enjoy any of those items that much. Now, once a year is fine. I think 2 to 3 times a year would be the real sweet spot for that meal.
You got to go at least once a quarter.
So you're
Do you
thinking
go once a quarter? Maybe
you
put that on the poll. Do you go once a quarter on a Thanksgiving meal?
Yeah. So you're thinking you obviously have the late November hit.
Sure.
The yearly
you
tradition.
Just do it every 3 months. So what's that put you in?
That puts you into February.
And then end of May.
Okay. So you have a Memorial Day turkey.
Memorial Day turkey. Yeah.
And then pretty much
a late Valentine's Day turkey.
Oh, nothing celebrates the spirit of Valentine's Day quite like cooking up that turkey dinner.
Turkey and mashed. Yeah. And then you're doing your Labor Day.
Okay. So you want to replace the, Americana meals that are known for Memorial Day and Labor Day. The grill outs, the chicken,
what's
the
more
hot
American
dogs, the brats.
What's more American than the Pilgrims and the Indians
shaking hands,
getting together on this new land that an Italian discovered,
being friendly with each other.
He was Spanish, wasn't he?
He was a Spaniard, yes.
Spaniard, yeah. History's not our strong suit here.
You know what? We corrected that pretty quickly. I'm actually pretty happy with how quickly you said Italian and then said he was Spanish, right? And I knew he was a Spaniard.
Yeah. Hey, good on us.
Nothing.
We're getting better.
There is nothing, no negativity around the Thanksgiving holiday. Everybody fond memories. Mm-hmm. Nothing to see here about, disease-filled blankets being exchanged at the dinner table, about, land being taken from the people that we were meeting for this meal. Other than that, it's all.
Yeah, it's weird when you put it like that. I still love turkey and mashed potatoes.
It's hard not to, right?
Little crescent rolls.
Every year, you get this.
Oh, you cut it. Crescent rolls are still hot. You just break them in half, put a little butter on them.
For me, it's any roll.
Yeah, but I mean those especially, just because they're warm, they're flaky.
Yeah. As
long as you don't overdo them, if anything, you gotta underbake them by about a minute so they're still fluffy. Oh.
I don't. Sometimes I don't even have the nerve to butter it, and I just start eating.
Look, I'm right there with you. Sometimes, after I crack the little canister open, I just eat the dough,
just munch
raw.
The dough, because you know what that's going to turn into, and you just want to get a little bit of that delight early on in the game.
Oh, so good.
We are a month and a half away from Thanksgiving, so we are a month and 1 week away from every news article being about how turkey is the worst part of your Thanksgiving meal. Yeah. Those are the go-tos every year.
Is it the tryptophan? That's what causes you to get sleepy and fall asleep on the couch watching the football game.
Those articles, and the article about you enjoying your Thanksgiving, you shouldn't be, It's the same stuff. And then, but we're only a few weeks away from those Halloween ones of check candy. The new thing this year is XYZ drug being dropped in kids' baskets.
Right, yeah. Because there was a rumor that it happened one time, like in the 60s or something.
Yeah. And it reminds me of, I wonder how long ago this actually started. Because if you think about drug running and drug sales, the idea behind this is that they're simply wasting their money away to put it in children's candy bags. They're willing to throw their drugs away for free into candy bags for the benefit of who? Because if there's one thing I've heard and read about the drug trade, it's that they definitely do not care about the financials.
No, they never turn a profit. They're still in the red.
Steve, we need to follow up on this from last week. We had talked about it. We had talked about me purchasing a PlayStation 5 and me having, even after purchasing it, having some qualms about it.
Yeah.
And still contemplating, was this a good idea? Was it a poor idea? You know, and I'm sure I'll wrestle with that for a while. Mm-hmm. But it's here. It is what it is. And I asked you if you could think of something similar. The
purchase that I made that I debated for a long time.
Yeah.
Even after buying it, still debated
and I would say
whether it was a good idea or not.
Yeah. And I would say adult. So 18 and up, right? Yeah. So, and I would argue let's exclude, as we talked about, Steve.
The jet ski.
Because we all think, well, obviously that would be the runaway winner, right?
That was not a wise purchase. But,
you broke
again,
even, right?
As I bring it up every time, I was within $100 of break. I think I made a $100 profit off of it.
And hours of joy.
17 and a half hours of joy.
Before you made that decision.
Yeah.
So have you thought a little bit more on it? Do you have an update for me on what this purchase has been for you since you've been an adult?
Yeah, there were two that came to mind. One of them I think is pretty obvious, the Comanche. That one I debated.
I am surprised
I debated for a long time about that. Even remember my white Jeep before that?
Sure, yes.
That one I debated on for a long time.
You sold the white Jeep before you bought Murder Jeep 1.0, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I sold the white Jeep to help fund Murder Jeep.
Okay.
There was a sub-purchase for the white Jeep, too, that I debated for months.
Okay.
Because that one came with a hard top.
Sure.
And I wanted a soft top so I could, flip the top down on a nice day.
Okay.
And it was like $900 to get a brand new soft top. And I debated that for probably 6 months. Like, brought it up to Annette every day. And she was finally just like, just do it. If that's what you want, just do it.
It gets to that point where it's do it or not, leave me out of it so I don't have to hear you talk about it any further.
Right. Like, I'm researching it and finding pictures of what it would look like.
And now that you can look back on that whole era for you, soft top, hard top, whatever, you happy with your choice?
Yeah. You
enjoy the soft top?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The first time I put it down, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is great. This is so much less of a hassle than unbolting an entire top and doors and taking them off.
You didn't get in there and think, oh, God, now it's too loud and it looks kind of gaudy and it's, unnecessary and don't need it, and when am I actually going to use it, and who would actually use it, and is this the worst thing I've ever bought in my life, and what type of buffoon would manage his finances this way?
I feel like you're editorializing a bit.
No. I'm just going through possibilities that maybe you had run through in your own head. Right?
Yeah. No, none of those specific things ran through my head.
Oh. Well, maybe next time.
Also, one more was our shed. When we bought our shed. Because that was a pretty decent sized purchase.
But that one, I should say, surprises me a touch because you had, before buying shed, had been debating pole barn.
Yeah. Shed was I was debating pole barn, and then Evelyn came along. It was right in that time frame because we had a couple people come out that were supposed to give us estimates that never gave us they wasted their own time coming out, measuring, answering a bunch of questions, and then never to be heard from again.
And if I remember right, you had come to maybe the internal conclusion that the rough pricing you didn't think was going to pan out anyway for this pole barn at the time.
It would have worked.
Okay.
I just wouldn't have been able to get everything that I wanted all at once. So it would have been like a phase one type thing.
Okay, so one wall at a time.
The entire building would be up, but maybe I wouldn't have I don't know, because Dream World, I have a lift in there that I can put the vehicle up on and work on it. So it would have been like a phase one, put the building up, get it functioning. Then a couple of years down the line, put in a lift. And maybe a couple of years after that, whatever the next upgrade is.
Just in time to move.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, the resale value, it's going to be amazing.
So, but I should say that is a little bit surprising because it was such a, and now sheds aren't cheap, especially when it looks like you went, that's all wood. Like, what was that one of those kits from, one of the big box stores?
No, it was, we went to a place that sells sheds. Mm-hmm. We figured out the size that we wanted and then sat down in the office and they said, all right, what color siding do you want? What color trim do you want? It'll be there in 5 weeks or something. And then it was delivered, fully assembled.
Oh, okay.
All I had to do was have a spot for it, and
right.
I got a bunch of rock, stones delivered, and just smoothed it all out.
Yeah.
And then they drove it. They have these little forklift pallet jack looking things, and they drove it right into the backyard. It was instant shed. It was fantastic.
The only and not surprising because it is still an expensive purchase, but comparatively, that hit was so much less than even the first hit you would have taken for a pole barn.
Oh, yeah.
Like just the concrete on the pole barn idea would have been in the five figures.
More than the shed, yeah.
Yeah. So part of me feels like you're like, yeah, shed, and you're looking at it, but you're always a little bit resentful towards that shed.
I am.
Because that shed got in the way of pole barn.
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
workshop.
Absolutely. I'm still debating. It still comes up on a weekly basis.
Yeah, well, I know because we were out there a week and a half ago, 2.5 weeks ago.
We were plotting it out.
And we had land surveyed. We pretty much worked for the township at that point.
Yeah.
About what trees needed to come down and how.
That will be something that I will debate for a long time, but once it's done, because it will eventually get done, I will not regret it. Not one bit. Because that's going to be my little, my little sanctuary.
Yeah, we were already talking about ways to possibly ease that conversation into more adaptable terms of having a family. Like, oh, yeah, I'll make a mini, arts and crafts studio for Evelyn or
have
whatever.
A rock climbing wall.
Yeah.
I think move the studio out there.
I mean, if you're
we're
willing
going 5.0.
If you're willing to snowblow during the season.
Yeah. I'll make
to
a
where
path.
we can just walk.
Yeah, I'll make us a path.
Boy. Listen, I just saw the room next to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you like that? After nearly one full year, I finally cleaned up the room next door where all of the garbage had been sitting from constructing this studio.
A little bigger? Elongated?
I think we knocked the wall out. Maybe we keep this room. This room becomes our producer's booth.
Obviously. So, yeah, we need to make then...
Big old window.
Yep. Double pane, triple pane possibly, so we don't have to hear him talk.
We'll go quad pane.
And then have a nice look through to the new studio where then you and I can actually stretch our legs a little bit.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I feel like I made a silly mistake with this room. It's been nice for 8 months, 9 months, but I think we're moving out.
Do you have plans for the other room in the basement here? Because it can't be a legal bedroom or anything. No. So it's just simply storage for you.
It's just kind of storage. Yeah, I think that, I don't know, as the kids get older, that might kind of become like playroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's...
Nice size for it. So, you put some rugs or carpet down and then just close the door and go have a Crown and Sprite and just hope nobody screams.
Yeah.
Right?
Lock the door from the outside so they can't get out.
Parenting.
Let them stare at the walls. I mean, there was that big airplane mural on the wall for whatever reason.
Yeah, somebody must have been really into World War II.
Well, it's like a French bomber plane.
Oh, is it?
I think it's got a French flag on the tail.
Maybe you should take a picture of that.
Yeah, how has that never come up on this podcast?
Yeah, it's the most out of place thing in this home or any home. And I'm talking about a home where your dog was carrying a treadmill from the woods up to the deck.
Yeah, so... I don't think we've ever talked about it before, but the storage room in our basement has a, 8-foot long, almost like paint by numbers type mural of a World War II era French bomber.
Yeah, like some puke green paint scheme and then whatever insignia on it.
I don't get it.
And I feel like you can never cover that up.
Yeah, I
would be curious to know. Listen, it sounds like the previous owner of this house, and maybe it wasn't the previous owner. Was this a one-owner house before you moved in?
No, it was a 2-owner house, but the original owner lived here for a year.
Okay, so not much.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, a one-owner house, I would just be stunned at what did they do if that was what they're painting on the wall, leaving bags of schoolhouse report cards and projects in the attic.
Yeah.
What everything you guys found, or that the dog found under the deck
We basically
in the woods,
found the old deck under the old deck.
just really stunning choices
Yeah.
that have happened. But of all of those,
Yeah.
the puke green airplane on the cement wall has to be the most baffling.
Yeah. We'll take a picture of that, and it's already posted on our social media at Steve and Kyle.
Now you know the name of these. Like, should we reach out?
Just send a picture.
What
and
do
say,
you know
what
about
were you thinking?
this? Yeah. What do you know about this? And number 2, why?
I think somebody, remember like a year or two ago, I was talking about something on the side gig about this house, and it was, we posted something on social media about it, and then somebody replied and said, I know the people that used to live in your house. I can ask them or something, and because they might have tagged one of them.
I think we need to make this. We need some answers.
Well, the one son that used to live here still gets mail all the time.
That's
because I replied to that comment a year or two ago and said, "Oh, cool. Can you tell so and so to maybe update his address?"
Yeah, yeah.
I've lived here for, at that point it was like 4 years. But I still get his like Entrepreneur magazine and Bass Fishing magazine.
Do you think he's sitting at home going, another month?
Man, son of a bitch! Why didn't I get it this year?
I can't. How do I keep not getting?
Yeah.
Bass Fishing. I've been paying every year.
Mm-hmm.
I have that at my house with I'm guessing it was the previous owner, but we've lived in our house now.
Oh, you've been there, what, 2-3 years longer than us, right?
Yeah, we've been there almost 8.5 years.
Okay.
And I still get Delta Dental explanation of benefits envelopes. I've tried for the first 4 or 5 I got. I kept writing wrong address, please return, or forward, whatever. Mm-hmm. Nothing. They came back in my mailbox the next day. Yeah. So now I just take them out of the mailbox. I walk to the trash can and dump them.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a bunch of that too, where it never even makes it into the house. It's like, nope. Somebody, somehow we got on the mailing list for, American Girl dolls.
Oh, yeah.
We are on the mailing list, and I think that they're addressed to Evelyn. So they know exactly what they're doing. I'm sure that it's because we also get like Highlights magazine once a month or so.
Yes.
So I'm sure that Highlights sold Evelyn's info to American Girl, and we will soon be feeling the pressure to go to the American Girl doll store and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on those things.
Are those really hundreds?
They are so expensive. Like the doll itself may not be, but all of the accessories and everything are insane.
I would have never guessed that.
I should have burned it before, or just thrown it right into the garbage bin, not even bring it in the house.
Right, yeah, because now you're, it's like the first time those kids see the Disney World commercials. Mm-hmm. Right? I want to go.
Yeah, I think that might actually happen sooner rather than later.
Sooner.
Because we are, I got a little bit of time off in March, and I think we're going to fly down and visit my dad.
Okay, so spring break time. Perfect time to go, I hear.
Yeah. Luckily it's not, it should be earlier than most of places are on spring break, but he lives 15 minutes from Disney World. And I think that we might maybe take a trip over to the Magic Kingdom for one day. Like we're just going to go down for 3 or 4 days. So I think we're going to hit the Magic Kingdom one day.
So you're going to try.
It's going to be like,
one day.
Yeah. Like
one day.
We're going to dip our toe in. Because she doesn't have any idea what Disney World is. Okay. She has no idea that there are...
Well, yeah, as we talked about, you keep her from everything.
Yeah.
No joy, stupid. No entertainment.
Yeah.
Shouldn't get to watch any of that. It's old VHSs of dad, playing baseball.
Boy, if my wife had her way, that would be all that we would watch is just old VHSs because we still have them all.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Then they cannot be gotten rid of.
That has to be thrown away. Do you have...
Ask them if they're mine.
Steve, are those videotapes
No, they're
yours?
not.
Do you have something that could play said VHS tapes in this house?
I think we have a VCR. I know we
You-
did it.
you had to
that's
do
right.
a-
No, but I gave it. I gave it away. Or Justin across the street randomly sent me a text one day and said, "Do you happen to have a VCR?" My mom just gave me a bunch of old VHS tapes, and I did, and I gave it to him. I don't know if I ever got it back, but I'm also not really worried about that because
Yeah, but now you know what
VCR.
you're risking is if this conversation were to take place again, and Annette says, "Hey, I want to show, Evelyn and the Boulin Wall, the videotapes of me, at dance recital when I was 5, right?" You then have to say, "Well, sorry, the VCR is gone," and maybe you make just a sprinkle of add-ons where you say, "Justin said it broke, so I just told him, you know what, just pitch it," because then what you're going to have to do is take it to whatever one of those stores is, whether it's Costco, I don't know who does anymore, where they transfer it to DVDs.
this is where the story gets interesting. All of the home movies. That was my mother-in-law. Her quarantine project was converting everything to DVD. So all of the old home movies that they had have now been converted to DVD, and she gave Annette copies of them, and she gave Annette's sister copies of them all. So all of the VHS tapes that we're holding on to, they're all Disney movies. That we have them all for $5 a month
On the streaming
on
service.
an app. She simply wants to keep them for the nostalgia of it all. She does not want to get rid of the old tapes.
I think
So
some
it's
of them...
so we're not keeping them to watch them. We're keeping them because it's her childhood, I guess.
So when you say tapes, are you talking about what I think of when I think of that era's Disney tapes? Those big plastic...
It's like a binder almost.
Okay, and
they're
it's got the two buttons that you...
yeah, and it's like the plastic inner that kind of interlocks.
Yes, yeah,
And
that's
they're
what I'm thinking.
almost like they're almost soft. Like
Okay.
it's kind of like
Yep.
a padded.
Just off the top of your head,
Yeah.
do you know one of the movies that you still have on a VHS like that? Would it be like an Aladdin, maybe a Beauty and the
Aladdin,
Beast?
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure that it is a safe bet that all of them.
Okay, let me look for the Aladdin VHS.
Are we gonna make some money?
It is not sealed, so I don't know why you added that. I feel like the idea that a lot of people, maybe there were something, but it's the same thing as 1990s sports cards. They're not.
They're nothing.
They were overproduced. So I found, this is I cannot imagine you guys have a Black Diamond VHS is. I don't know what that even means, Steve. You can bid right now for the Aladdin VHS and that fancy soft plastic padding. Mm-hmm. For $5.
So what you're saying is it's not even worth the time to go and dig it out of the trunk that it's in.
And let's say, and that shows free shipping. So if you could get that thing shipped for $3, take out eBay fees, you are taking home net
Maybe $1.
maybe $1.
Yeah.
I think that because what has happened in years past, and I think especially since COVID, collecting things and those things from the 90s may have increased in value. Look at the Pokemon cards.
Yep.
Those first generation ones have gone bananas. Mm-hmm. And personally, I sold one myself that my mom had found for way more money than I ever thought.
How much?
Was $1,200.
A Pokemon card?
A Pokemon card from 1999 that my mom had found and did a little research on her own, because if she had come to me, I would have put my stinky nose so high in the air, go, those are worthless, and thrown them into the garbage. But yeah, it was some Charizard thing that I ended up sending to a grading company.
Yeah, Pokemon was after my time, so
Yeah.
you're speaking another language.
You
can just say it was a card.
It was a dragon, and it was a Kana card, and I sent it to a grading company. They came back in a good enough condition, because again, we never played. I don't think anybody who's ever had a Pokemon card has played the Pokemon card game.
I didn't even know that there was a game.
I think it's just the cards.
I just assumed it was cards.
And yeah, it turns out it had some value. Sold it for $1,200 shortly thereafter. Mm-hmm. But this isn't that.
You eBay it, or you do like a specialty website?
I tried on Facebook groups that I joined a few after she sent me this card. So I had joined a few Pokemon card Facebook groups that were buy, sell, trade.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, boy. I got in there, and so I had the card in hand. Yeah. I didn't even know how to search for it. So I didn't know what this was worth or anything. So I took about 6 pictures, and I posted. I said, can anybody tell me how to describe this when I'm searching for comparable sales?
Oh, did you have...
And the first one...
Did your messages blow up?
So I had way too many people offering me. I had one person offer me $300. One person offered me $500.
So you know you got something.
Yes. At that point I knew. But when I saw the comments start rolling in about, are you serious? I'm like, yes, I know this might be a shock to you. But as stated in the post, I don't have a darn clue what these are.
Right.
Like, I'm in comic book groups, and if somebody posts that, hey, can you, like, the idea is that I don't know what it is.
Right? Yeah, you're just looking for help.
Yeah, so was able to figure out, went back to that group, got 0 response when trying to sell at less than that dollar amount. Mm-hmm. So went to eBay, took the fees, whatever happened. But yeah, a nice profit. But
nice.
Long story short, the 90s aren't a catch-all for some insane value now. Mm-hmm. And boy, the space that those idiotic VHS tapes with the soft plastic packaging are not it. Because I just pulled up the Lion King from 1995.
What do we got?
There's one bid for one with 99 cents. There's one $8.90 or best offer. 99 cents. There are some that are listed for a large amount, but I don't get the impression those are selling for that large of an amount.
Are we at the point yet where I can have an app on my phone? I can pull one VHS out, scan the barcode. It says what it's going for. Okay, $2, garbage. $2, garbage. Oh, $40. Okay, right. That might be worth keeping. Does eBay do that? Does eBay have the scanners?
They have a barcode scanner, but I think they're only going to show you listings.
Okay.
So then you would then have to, so
figure out what the completed listings.
Yep, you'd have to filter it every time you do it.
Yeah.
I am confident in telling you, though,
that they're worth nothing.
That those are not worth the space they're taking in this house.
Yeah, I know.
When you could click a button on an app and play the exact same movie much higher.
I'm the choir. Boy, oh boy. You're preaching to me.
If you had to guess, and we've talked about, the marital 1 crock pot, 2 crock pots, etc.
Drywall.
How many of those do you think you've won?
Oh, boy, it's not good.
Like, the winning percentage seems...
I mean, I lost the crock-pot battle.
You lost the crock-pot battle.
I lost the vacuum battle.
Yep.
I don't think anyone really won the drywall battle.
Nope. I think both parties left there feeling similar types of unhappy.
Yeah, for different reasons, though.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm at least... I don't know if I've registered a win. You think this is my chance? You think I should sneak him out of the house when she's not here?
This is a winning proposition for you.
Okay.
Because...
See, I know exactly what would happen, though. If I were to go upstairs right now and be like, hey, Kyle and I were talking, can we finally get rid of these VHS tapes? She would say, yeah, I told you could get rid of them 2 years ago. Which... would be a bold-faced lie. Because there's no way.
I can't believe that has been a discussion to the point where it's... You now know, like, her opinion is that she wants to keep them, right?
And honestly, I don't care. They're all in a trunk. They're taking up a trunk's worth of space in a room that I never go in. But when I'm in a purging mood, when I'm in a getting rid of things mood, it's tough to look past it.
Yeah, and again, this reminds me a little bit of the rollerblades that have come with you on how many moves.
I have plenty. That's the thing. But she doesn't care.
Right.
I sometimes do, but she is a consistently not care.
Can you go upstairs right now today and say, listen, I have a deal. I will discard these 20-plus-year-old fruit boots if I can also discard these 20-plus-year-old clamshell VHS tapes.
You know what she would say? You have rollerblades? She wouldn't even know. Would not even know.
I'd love to see this resolved. I'd love to see you in the next...
You need resolution.
In the next 2 to 4 weeks, I'd like to see those VHS tapes thrown out. I'm trying to do a purge over the last few years of my physical media that I have at home.
Mm-hmm. That's surprising because you're a movie collector.
Well, there used to be...
what are you going to put on those bookshelves that
I know,
bought?
but that's the thing.
You're going to rip them out?
The books itself were... The books on the bookshelf, so I had half set for Blu-rays and DVDs, and the other half, and again, this bookshelf is... there's pictures of it on our social media from years ago when I built it.
Yeah.
It's large. It's 8 feet tall by, I think, 10 feet or 12 feet wide.
Sure.
And one half is books and one half is DVDs and Blu-rays. So the books, though, obviously books bigger than DVDs and Blu-rays. So we'd get books and books from my mother-in-law, whoever, and we read them, put them on the shelf. And of course, I have them alphabetized because I'm a grown-up. But
Toby, lay down, man.
Even those are taking up so much room now that I'm going through and I'm saying, I'm now realizing all of these I'm not going to reread.
Sure.
So I told myself I want to pick, the 3 authors that I read all of their books. So I've been reading a Jack Reacher series for years now. I like to read all the John Grisham books.
Okay.
And then there's my favorite author's name is Dennis Lehan. Keep all of those and I'll get rid of the rest. But then I find myself at that shelf going, well, I mean, this trilogy it's like a
get rid of one, you got to get rid of 3.
I can't get rid of the Justin Cronin books.
What are we banning books? Oh, wait.
Get rid of that one. And then I look at, Truman Capote in Cold Blood, I would argue that's my favorite book of all time. I can't get rid of that one. And Night by Elie Wiesel about a kid's time in the concentration camp. Sure. If I throw that away, now I'm a Nazi. So now this idea of 3 authors or whatever has now climbed to 3 authors plus.
Yeah.
And at that point, I throw my hands in the air and say, I'm not getting rid of them anyway, so I just walk away.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
Can you sell them?
Oh, God. Paperbacks? And the problem... So I've started in the last 6 months or so utilizing, and I don't know if you've heard of this before, a library?
Is that the house with the books?
You can go in there, and I got to tell you, first of all, my one problem, not nearly enough memorabilia from LHO. Okay? As we all know, world's most famous book boxer.
Booksman.
Who was wrongfully accused.
I don't think that's true.
Possibly wrongfully accused.
Well, I guess,
of having a bad day at work back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And some idiot got in the way of, whatever. We no need to rehash it.
Some idiot got in the way of his bullet hitting its intended target, like a bale of hay or something.
Ridiculous. Guy just trying to shoot across the highway.
Yeah.
Put a little practice in for the pheasant hunting season, which I'm sure is down in Texas late November. Mm-hmm. But again, everybody knows the real story.
Yeah.
So I started utilizing the library, and then even the library now has apps for your Kindle or your phone if you don't have, a reader, to where you can borrow ebooks just directly from your phone. So and I've decided I need to start utilizing this more instead of just going on eBay. And the last time I bought books, I bought 4 books for $9 from the same
that's a good
second-hand shop out in wherever, free shipping.
Yeah. How do they make money off of that?
They don't. They're donated books.
Yeah.
Right? So they're making pennies on the dollar after they ship this 6-pound bag of books now.
Right.
But there I throw them on my shelf, and now I look at them, if I read them once, and then I'm thinking, I'm never going to read this again.
Mm-hmm.
What
do you think about I mean, this kind of has a library type feel to
A
it.
little bit. I mean,
Maybe it would be cool to have a shelf all the way around the top,
yeah.
just with books.
What
Not
kind of
not
books?
to read. I don't care.
Oh, display.
Brown ones. about yay big.
So display books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's where we can hide things in them.
Well, listen. The first step to that is putting the call out for people to send us books.
Oh boy, no, don't want that.
The P.O. box is in the show notes of this
God,
podcast.
no, please do not.
And
I swear.
send every book you have that you don't want anymore. And we will put it on shelves that have not been built and probably never will be built.
No.
And store here an
I
APS
will
4.0
mark
to make
it.
us.
Return to sender.
I started pawning off a lot of these books to those local neighborhood libraries that you see.
Yeah.
So we'll go on a walk with Reed, and I'll have a bundle of 8 books under my arm, and I'll just shove them all
You're
in
putting
there.
your Encyclopedia Britannicas.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And all these novels that, we either received as gifts and read or didn't read, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, I did the same thing with DVDs. I realized.
Do you put them in the lending library?
You're darn right. I walk around and I throw DVDs in there. But the fact that they were DVDs still, which is already Blu-rays are technically outdated, right?
Yeah,
it's on to 4K, whatever now. Uh-huh. That I had a full box that I just dumped at the donation center for, the local thrift shop, whatever. Yeah. And made sure to close the top because this is the type of place that probably wouldn't normally sell those movies that I were donating.
So you didn't want them to peek in.
Yeah, it's not like, again, I wasn't donating The Lion King, right? I was donating a lot of adult theme, not pornography, but like rated R, like movies that they're not going to put on the shelf in there to sell for $1 or $2.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, they have the name in the name of Christ in their shop name. They're just not going to resell us.
Right.
But it did the job for me because then they had to throw them away or figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, I always feel kind of bad because I did a Goodwill drive-by.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
Yep, that sounds just as bad as me saying adult-themed movies I was donating.
Porno. Okay, so... Well, I stopped at a local Goodwill on my way into work earlier this week, and I had a huge tote, like big plastic tote, of stuff that came out of the storage room that I just wanted to get rid of. And I always feel kind of bad when I pull up and they're not open and I just drop it off there because I leave it right outside the door.
Yep,
and
but that is what they tell you, right?
It is. But I always feel like they open it up and think, what the hell are we going to do with this? Like an old paper towel holder? What are we going to sell this for a nickel? This is such a waste. Like, it's not worth the time. But
right.
They always say that they can, they can use donations, and
so
I'm here to give it to them. I got crap. You want it? Cool.
They must have a hearty dumpster budget.
Yeah.
That's because again, you're right. I feel bad. And I'll put that on the poll as well. Do you feel bad when you give garbage to the Goodwill?
I mean, part of me is like, it's such a relief dropping it off.
It's one more thing.
Yeah.
Out of your purview. It's it's the basement storage room with the French airplane cleaned up.
So now we can properly enjoy the French bomber airplane.
That's right. Because up until this point, you were it was just there. You weren't enjoying it up to what it needed to be. Again, it has to be the oddest design choice in any house I've ever seen.
Kyle, I got a question for you.
Oh, boy.
I know that
I feel like I'm unprepared already.
No, I think you'll be more prepared than you could ever imagine.
Okay.
Because it has to do with your favorite time of year, the spooky season.
It is spooky time, Steve.
Yeah. Spooky season.
The ghosts, the bats.
Things that go bump in the night.
Masks.
Yep. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Now, when you drive here on a weekly basis, especially during the spookiest time of the year, you pass by one house that I think you have dubbed the Halloween Barf House.
Yep.
You do not like that.
You know what? It's not the way I would do it, but I don't dislike it.
Do you dislike it because there's no continuity between the display? Because this is a house that has, I'm going to say 20 inflatables on their front lawn. So they have There's like a skeleton dog next to a minion, next to Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I feel like and I may have said this before, I think there's Darth Vader on the toilet.
Right.
There is a large minion. There's someone stuck in a chimney, I think. There's just...
Okay.
So there's a lot there.
So you don't like it because there's just a little too much going on.
Right.
Not because of inflatable. Because you're an inflatable guy, right? You have some inflatables.
I have some Christmas inflatables. I do. Okay. Not for spooky season, but I do have some of the Christmas inflatables, yeah.
I have always been, I won't say anti-inflatable, just kind of, I don't know, they don't really bother me one way or the other. But I think that might all change today.
Today?
I think that today...
I would need to know what happened yesterday to say today is the day it changes.
Well, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. Yesterday was the day that my wife told my daughter, well, if you want a Halloween inflatable, I think it would be nice, but you'll have to ask Dad.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, boy, thought we weren't doing this one parent against the other thing. We've been doing pretty good up until this point.
Never before has someone been so set up to fail.
I know. So
this.
I think that after once this recording is done, I believe me and Evelyn are heading out to the local big box store to buy an inflatable. So it might be a Halloween-themed Mickey Mouse inflatable.
Sure.
Or Minnie Mouse, perhaps.
Yep.
Or one of the other Disney characters.
Now, do you have... They have all differing sizes, or are you looking straight budgetary, keep it cheap?
I don't know, man.
Because they'll have 3-foot ones.
When I walk in to the store, and they're all no doubt still... Actually, they may not still be on display. We might be into Christmas, right, at this point?
No, you might start seeing some bleeding, but for the most part, you should have that there.
I am at the will of my daughter on this one, I think.
I think until you see some of these price tags... Because they're going to have, if you're going where I think you're going, on
where
the
do you
top
think
rack,
I'm going? I'm
big
thinking
box home improvement.
I'm thinking maybe a 4 to 5 foot tall one,
sure.
Like somewhere. What am I expecting to pay?
I would bet $30 to $60.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. I kind of had. I was thinking it's going to be $80 to $100.
Well, the problem you're going to run into is going to this place. On the very top shelf, they have the massive ones,
right?
That don't make any sense. It's like a dragon with a
No, she's short. She can't see that high.
Okay, so
I'm going to put a visor on her so she can't look up.
Treat her like a horse.
Right.
Blinders on her.
Yeah. Find the one lone pumpkin. That's all it is. It's just a pumpkin.
That's it. Not even a carved face.
No lights. No blinking things. No, it doesn't play music.
I am pulling up at Big Box Store A, inflatables.
Okay.
We're opening with a 9-foot and an 11.5 foot different from, that's what they put on the front page to start.
Okay. 9 foot, 11.5 foot.
Yeah. Based on The Nightmare Before Christmas. And those are going to run you $199.
No, they're not. They're going to run me $0.
We have a 5-foot jack-o'-lantern head Reaper Halloween inflatable. Standing up, he's got 5
feet
black thing. $34.98.
Hey, there we go.
There is a 5.5 foot Grim Reaper riding a motorcycle. 50. That would fit perfectly over at Halloween Vomit House.
Yeah.
That is $55. I'm trying to find something.
Is there anything Disney themed?
I'm sure there is. I haven't gotten there yet. I think what she would pick if she sees it inflated is a 6-foot LED giant creeping black cat. It's $35.99.
She does like cats. She's a big fan of cats.
And going down, they have the Ursula. So that is Disney, right? And then from The Little Mermaid, there's a gigantic spider, a big spooky ghost. Pooh and Friends.
She loves Pooh.
Don't let her see this one then, because it's a $149. That is Pooh, Eeyore, and Tigger dressed up in different costumes.
Okay.
Pooh stuck on a honey pot, of course.
Yeah. It's his thing.
Guy can't help himself.
Loves the honey.
I am trying to find. There's a Scooby. Mm-hmm. Scooby-Dooby-Doo for $35 as well.
She doesn't really know Scooby-Doo yet.
I think you can get out with a price point you're going to be okay with that. Assuming she doesn't, throw a tantrum about wanting a Jack Skellington archway. There is a 3.5-foot Disney Mickey in a vampire costume inflatable.
Okay.
For $34.
I like it. I'm happy with that.
So when I come back here next week, I can plan on this puppy being blown up, waving in the wind when I pull into this driveway, right?
So I got to blow it up during the day, too?
I don't.
Thought it was a nighttime thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But, if you don't, when's Evelyn going to see it?
Yeah, it's true. She goes to bed early. All right.
Another black cat. What are the odds you walk out of here with 2+?
0.
Are you sure?
No.
What if she's like, I really love the cat, but I also love the Minnie Mouse more?
What if?
You're telling me. Okay.
What if?
I'm going to post it on the poll. What does Steve leave the store with? 1 inflatable or 2+ inflatables?
So 2 isn't an option? It's either 1 or 3 at least?
I think, you know what? I'm not going to, I'll wait to see. I'll be here next week.
Okay.
And I will be happy.
Yeah.
I
wish there was a way that I could reveal it to you on the podcast next week. I mean, I guess I could go outside next week and drag them in so you don't see them.
Right.
It's just a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. All right.
Before we get out of here today, Steve, we should probably spend a few minutes updating the poll results.
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time. Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. And as I know I apologize a lot for this. I'm going to go back to where I don't remember reading these before.
Okay.
Can you withdraw your organ donation? 63% of the audience said yes, so I think I'm in luck.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I can call the government and say, you can't take these. What is more annoying? Your options were being anti-vintage or being anti-organ donation. 60.5% of the audience said being anti-organ donation is more annoying.
60.5 or 16.5?
60. 60.5. Okay. What does Billy Rubin sound like? A mobster, a sandwich, or both?
Yeah, I think a sandwich.
43.6% of the audience said both.
Okay.
Is the only way to fix your Billy Rubins by correcting your Jimmy Patty melts. 76% of the audience said yes. Is Steve passing on the bad Billies to baby Boolin Wall a tragedy?
Yeah.
82% of the audience said yes. Is Kyle just a bag of used parts? 92% of the audience hurt my feelings and said yes.
Yeah, well, truth hurts sometimes,
Is it bad taste to cash a memorial check? This was the 9/11 check we received from Trevor. 67.6% of the audience said no.
Okay, good.
Can everyone do a British accent? That's what makes you feel a little better.
Yeah, you were struggling with that.
54% of the audience said no.
You've been working on it?
No.
Come on, give me a hello, governor.
Again, that feels overly, what the term is Cockney, right?
No, the Cockney is like, eat some more porridge.
Boy, that sounds so aggressive, even when it's something so simple.
Yeah.
Is blaming parenting for not watching a 40-minute episode of a TV show a cop-out?
No.
63% of the audience said yes.
Huh. How about that?
Are pears a finicky fruit?
They are.
72% of the audience said yes. Is it key to hold off on allowing your child to have birthday parties with friends? 85% of the audience said yes. Is the Comfortable Caramel a good candy bar name? I think that's a great name. And I think it would fit beautifully next to the Fortunate William.
Yeah, definitely.
50...
Zach, if you're out there,
yeah,
design a label for us.
The Comfortable Caramel.
Maybe somebody like with a blanket pulled up.
Yeah, definitely on a recliner.
Yeah,
this caramel's going to have legs. 58.5% of the audience said, no, it's not a good name. So I think it'll fit perfectly in our catalog.
They are stupid.
Would you dip a Milano cookie in your slightly sweetened coffee?
Absolutely.
58% of the audience
Said
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does the best cup of coffee go pot, cup, belly? 76% of the audience said yes.
As opposed to...
Don't know? Does oat milk in your coffee belong in a terrorist detention center?
Boy, that one... I don't remember saying that specifically.
That was pretty... I think I think those are the exact wording that you chose.
Really?
75% of the audience said yes.
Really?
Is Steve a neighbor pushover?
Oh, this is about the tree trimming, right?
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
77% of the audience said yes.
Really?
Would you
Because
pay
because I choose peace and not war.
Peace coming at the price of your own pocketbook, I think, was the deal breaker
whatever.
there, right?
Look, you see the palatial estate that I live in here. Obviously, I got the extra cash.
Would you pay for tree trimming for limbs over your neighbor's property?
Yes.
72% of the audience said no. So it's Will Egan. Take from this discussion and these poll results what you will.
Look, the poll has spoken.
Yeah,
The people
you
have
have
spoken.
to respect the will of
That's
the people.
fine. That doesn't mean that I would do the same thing.
Right.
But I'm at the will of the listeners of this great podcast.
Did Great Grandpappy say coffee has to be hot? 89% of the audience said yes. Do you want a nice warm cup of Sanka? 70s.
Sanka, we looked up, that was the decaf coffee that you can still buy.
Which is stunning.
Yeah.
77.5% of the audience said no. What's a better name? Tortoise-Anchi or Tortanchi?
What?
I think the Comanche's taken a long time.
Oh, a tortoise pace. Okay.
75% of the audience said Tortanchi.
Next week, huge update week.
I see a checklist. I see it making ground.
Did you notice that between sending the checklist the first time and the second time, the checklist grew by about 8 or 9 items?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I sent you the checklist last week, and then I sent you a video a few days ago of a couple things being...
Yeah.
I think 4 things got crossed off the checklist.
So net, taking into the additions, we're still down.
Down, yeah, definitely.
Good
I'm
start.
thinking I'm going to be able to cross off 1 or 2 things today.
I can't even say good start. A start would have been 2 years ago. Good week.
What I've been doing, though, is like if on the list, I think that there was something where I had to like prime something, or I had to like paint something. So to make myself feel better, I broke it into 2 categories. I broke it into 2 steps. I have prime, then paint, then install.
Boy, you're making your own checklist worse.
So no, it's making me feel like I'm accomplishing more, because instead of finishing 1 thing, I'm actually finishing like 3 or 4. So
does this podcast deserve something nice?
No.
70% of the audience said yes. Thank you. I mean, it's not going to happen, but
no, not at all.
So.
Not at all.
Does the city still quake from Steve singling and mingling? 82% of the audience said yes. Can a filly catch your eye in the 2010s? 54.5% of the audience said yes.
We're in the 2020s now.
But when you were single was in the 2010s.
Oh, it was the 2010.
And you used the term
filly.
A filly catching your eye. Well, no, this was the story you told where the filly caught your eye.
Right, and then you threw something at her. So she would then...
romance.
Her eyes would be caught by me.
Is there a dollar amount purchase you check with your spouse before spending? 72.5% of the audience said yes. Steve, we have history.
What do we got?
Can there be a good wart?
Oh, no. Did we finally get the elusive 100%er?
All the votes are in.
Okay.
And with 100% of the vote, no, there cannot be a good wart.
Boy.
That is the first ever.
Instant top seed for
it has
Paul
to
Badness,
make,
right?
It has to make... boy, I think that's... I'm shocked. But, hard to argue, right?
Yeah, very hard to argue. It's amazing.
If Cindy Crawford's mole was a wart, would she have ever been on a cover? 87% of the audience said no. Is a PlayStation 5 for someone who plays video games 150 minutes per week an acceptable purchase? 68% of the audience said yes. Thank you, audience.
I'm with you on that, too.
Are airline miles a scam?
Yeah, absolutely.
87.5% of the audience said yes. That gets us caught up on all of the polls.
It's a heck of a couple weeks there. Did we put anything up today?
Not many. A few went up. A few are up there, though. Right. Please check them out.
Also, you can check out check out the polls at Stephen Kyle. Apologies to Robert. We just lost him. Also, at Stephen Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you can see the picture that can best be described as a World War II era French bomber plane that is inexplicably painted on my basement wall. Do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? I'll let you decide. Not really.
It's saying, would you take like a
For
roller
now,
of,
I mean, I'm not...
would you take like a roller just, regular white and roll over that airplane?
That's what I had to do in the room that I turned into my little workshop, because there was like legitimate graffiti spray painted on the wall. So I had to get that stuff that covers up stains, kills, and like paint over it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Do I keep the plane or not? We'll see. That's a big reason to tune in next week.
Boy. Should we let the poll decide? Should the airplane mural stay or go?
Yeah, put it on the poll.
Okay, that'll be up there.
All right.
And as you know, that is the gospel.
Yeah. All right, we will talk to you next week. See you later.